What's going on? Welcome. It's another beautiful week, isn't it? I'm over here. You can tell where I feel like I am based on the colors, the theme. If you're watching the video, that is. If you're not, imagine in your mind a peach color. Quite thin shirt, see-through shirt, long sleeves, collar, a little bit of white colored palm trees all over it. Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm at the beach, not in the rain, in the mountains, which is kind of where I am. See, where I live isn't quite in the mountains, but it might as well be with the fact that the degrees gets close to 35 out here. 30 degrees, 35. It gets pretty cold at night, that is. So daytime wise, not that bad. But I definitely feel like I'm on the beach right now with a belly full of tacos. Got a belly full of tacos. What am I drinking? I'm drinking like one of those small strawberry mocktails with the little tahini on the rim, toes in the sand, sun shining, brightest day you can imagine, no clouds in the sky, and just the beautiful sound of the ocean rippling in. Doesn't that sound nice? Hell yeah, it does. So I wanted to welcome you in that way because today our talk is actually all of life is imagined. So imagination is something that we want to exercise, right? Now, some people may not agree with that, and that's okay. It doesn't ask for you to agree with it. It's just obeyed, right? It's something that is one of those universal laws, and it's beyond a universal law. It's beyond all universal laws. The imagination is capable of anything. So all of life is imagined. Everything from the chairs I'm sitting in, couch behind me, walls around me, television, the things on the TV, everything was once imagined. What is unseen becomes seen. Why is this important? Well, we live in a world where the material seems more than the immaterial. But if you go and try to create something material out of something that's material, you will come up with an error message. Because you're trying to take something that is already a particle and turn it into a wave. That's why they can't turn steel into gold. Steel is steel. Can't turn steel into gold. How does gold get created? Through imagination. How do we know this? Well, if we go back and we look at a few texts from the ancient past histories, recent past histories, we find that in each and every one of them, there's an essence. There's an essence of having something created from nothing. This world is the best example. The fact that you exist is the best example. You are not a fragment of your imagination. You're a fragment of what created you's imagination. And further yet, that creative energy, that creativity was placed into you so you can go out and do the same things, which is create. You with me on that? We are who and what we imagine we are. We are who and what we imagine we are. You are exactly where you are because of how you've imagined your life to go. You are exactly where you are because of how you imagine who you are to be. You are treated how you're treated because you treat yourself that way. We are who we imagine that we are. When we look out into the world and we see things, and let's go with people in particular, we're seeing people for who they think they are. You know, it's so funny. I meant to sit over here. There we go. Is that better? Oh my God, that's so much better. Look at that. Wow. God, so much better, right? It was like my whole head was like, boom. I got a big head. If you're listening to the podcast, you can't see what just happened. Go watch it. If I imagine that scene I gave you earlier, who's to say it's not real? Only me. I'm the only one who can say that. You want a man, a woman, a husband, a wife. Who's to say you don't have one? Only you. You're the only one who's saying you don't have one. You're the one who's feeling you don't have one. You're the one complaining about, oh, I need a man, I need a woman. I don't have anyone to talk to me when I'm feeling sad or whatever. Whatever you want that love for, I just don't have anyone to love me. I don't have anyone to love. I don't have anyone to love me the way I want to be loved. Like, who's to say that? You're imagining that whole reality right now. Why can't you imagine something else? I don't mean that in a condemning way. I mean that in love. You know, if you can do that, if you can imagine why don't you have something, you can imagine why do you have something. If you can imagine not having something, you can imagine having it. How is that working for you? Imagining not having it. Are you getting it through imagining not having it? If you got nothing to lose, imagine having it. That's how I made it click to myself. I said, Makaija, you really are sitting here imagining things you don't want. Like, you're over here creating all these realities that you don't want to experience in your head. Like, you're thinking the worst possible scenario. You're thinking, what if you lose everything? You're thinking, what if it goes wrong? Like, you're imagining the worst possible scenario, and then it ends up happening sometimes. So I'm like, damn, I was right. But it's like, couldn't I be right about the other thing? Oh, no, I can't be right about something going right. I can't expect something to go right and it actually does and say that that's me doing it. No, there's no way. That has to be a coincidence. Because things don't just go right. That's a belief. That's a belief we have. Especially this society. This society believes nothing good can come from things just because you want it to be good. There's got to be a reason. No, there's no necessity for any reason for something good to occur or for you to want something good for yourself. You don't have to have a reason. People try to make you justify why you want the things you want, and you don't owe anyone a justification about why you want to be happy or peaceful or in love or rich, wealthy, abundant, flying private jets around the world, traveling just because you want to. Like, you owe no one a justification for the things you want. Wanting to get married, like, if the person you're with isn't wanting that, here's the thing, you don't want to change them with your words and with your actions and your care. Like, you don't want to change them with that stuff. Because you know the trippiest part? You can't change them unless they want to be changed. But what you can do is you can become the person who's already there. Become the person whose person does want to marry them just as much as you want to be married. Become the person who already has the ring on their finger, who sleeps and cuddles with that person every night, who wakes up and is excited to see that other person's face. Like, become that person, live in that reality. Live in that reality up here. Don't go telling everybody. And if you and the person you're with break up, that's probably a good thing, because that wasn't going to be the person to do the things you're calling for. That's just from a relationship standpoint. You can apply this to your work. Don't go begging your boss for a raise or emailing the company, I feel like I should have more money because of the job I do. You gave me 10 more jobs than what I got hired to do, and now I'm doing all this and not getting paid anything else for it. Forget about that. Nothing in this physical world is gonna change without you changing yourself and your belief and your thought and your imagination. So when you go into this wanting to reach out to things and people, like in this job circumstance, to get what you want, think, how can you be the thing? How can you be the person who already has the better job? Live from that point. Live from the point of you're already taking the calls. You've already gotten the pay raise. You're enjoying the fruits of that labor. You've already invested the money in something you really wanted. You've already purchased that trip that you wanted to go on. You've already even used and circulated that money throughout society. Like, imagine it from that point where it's already done. Like, imagine the memories that you would have if that were taking place. Imagine the people that you're going to interact with and how they're going to speak to you. Oh, congratulations on your trip. They might be congratulating you for your trip. How was your trip? Imagine being asked those questions and answering those questions. Like, go through this thing. Get to the very, very end. Shit. Sometimes I'm like, fuck it, I'll go to the end of my life, right? And then replay that thing. Like, you can play with your mind. It doesn't have to play you, because that's what it does when we let it do its own thing. When we don't focus the imagination, because you're not trying to imagine the worst case scenario. It's just a program that you have installed that's running and running and running in the background. You have to become aware of it. And that takes vulnerability. That takes guts. That takes surrender. That takes love for yourself to do that. And it takes all those things, but when you do it, it's worth every second. Every single second. Every single minute, I was gonna say pituitary. I'm thinking of my pituitary gland, you feel me? Right? Because these things get excited when we get into this spiritual energy. This is spiritual energy, fam. We're talking mindset here, but mind is matter, baby. What is matter created of? Spirit. Mind, spirit, matter, let's go, right? The all, the mind of the all. If I could think, don't you think? If I could think and you could think, and your mama, your dad, your brother, your sister, everyone in your life that you know, if all of us can think, we all have mind, why wouldn't our source have something very similar, especially if that source placed itself within us in order to become it once again? Now, whether you believe that's the purpose of life doesn't really matter to me personally. I do. I do definitely believe that we are just experiencing experience to experience it and to once again realize who we actually are, because we're not this flesh, we're not this body, we're not even the soul, right? We're not the spirit. We are the actual source. And that's why imagination is so powerful. The source imagined you into being. The source is not physical. You can't see it, we can't feel it. Meaning with our senses, like you can't touch it. It's not physical. The source is imaginary. The source is imagination. We are the creative power that which all things have come from. And walking in that, becoming your true, beautiful self, and realizing who you actually are, takes your imagination to do so. Your life will get a little crazy. I'll tell you that right now. Your life will get absolutely nuts. You will not know what the fuck is going on. You will not know who anyone is anymore. You'll be like, what the fuck have I been doing this whole time? Have you always been that way? Like those are the reactions that are gonna be stirred up in you when you start to do this. Because when you start to call your energy back to yourself, you're removing it from all the things that keep you connected to your old personality, your old imagination. And as you pull all that energy back, you better believe those other things that which they were plugged into, they feel it. It's not just you who changes, it's everything around you. Your home feels it, your business feels it, your closest people, your furthest people, everyone who you've ever touched can feel that. And some things start to change. Some people start to pop up out of nowhere. You're like, damn, I forgot you even existed. Some people fall off as if they never did exist. It just gets wild. And so, in light of that, let me share something with you that's a little bit of insightful for me. When I started on this journey of tapping into the power of the imagination, how do you think I got this house? Like, y'all think it's a game, man. Y'all really think this shit is a game. Like, you think I just worked hard and shit and grinded for this fucking house? Like, I worked hard, but this bitch happened for my fucking mind. You got me fucked up. I'm serious. Like, I'm dead ass serious, y'all. Y'all think I'm fucking playing. What was I even about to say? I forgot. I totally forgot. I totally forgot. Could have been anything. Oh, this is what I was going to say. When I started this journey, right? And man, the realization of this home, I'm just looking at it like, damn, this is crazy, because it really was all in my head. It was all in my head, yo. All in my head. All in my head. If you were to look back, I wish it could record your fucking thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, boop, plop that bitch in. I'd upload that shit to Instagram real quick and let y'all watch that shit with timestamps and everything. Y'all don't be like, oh, damn. Oh, damn. Yeah, it's legit, right? Ask anybody who's made it to where they want to go. Whether they're conscious of it or not, most of the time they are. They did it deliberately by knowing that it already happened. So anyway, what happens, remember when I was saying it gets really, really crazy? Well, it does. Personally, when it first started happening, I didn't really realize. I was like, oh, this is getting crazy, but I can't stop because I want what I want, you know? Like, I got to keep going, but this is getting nuts. I was tripping. So time goes on. I continue my practices and doing the shit that I'm sharing with you to do. And I can go and, you know what? I already have it set up. So I'm not even going to announce. I'm just going to put that bitch out there. Fuck it. So as I'm doing these practices, I'm like, man, the deeper I get into this, the more things get crazy. So I said, fuck, I got to take a break. Like, I took a hard stop. But during that hard stop, and it wasn't because I was freaking out. It was something in me saying, that's enough. You're okay now. Like, you've done your work. Not just in my head, but also the actions I started to take in my life. Giving more, being more friendly, loving more, coming from a loving place more. Those types of things are included with the manifestation process, right? Because I want to do this shit for good. I'm not trying to do this for evil, because there's already people doing that. I don't fall into that camp. I don't like it. But you start to do all this stuff. So it was like, yeah, your work's done. You can chill. And that was at a point where I was like, fuck, I need to take a break. Like, those two, that intuition and my mindset matched, and I took a break for about 4 or 5 months, right? Didn't really do much of my practices. Instead of every single day, 7 days a week, I went down to like 1 day a week, maybe twice a month. So this break was great because it allowed all the stuff that I wanted to come to fruition. And as I was going on, baby, you better believe my life was nuts. It was nuts, yo. It was crazy. Like, the synchronicities, the alignments, the people I met, the places I went, the way shit happened. It was just insane. And I'm so emphatic about it. I really am. I love that it takes place in such a chaotic way, because you can't find your footing. Like, finding your footing, that's some shit you have to figure it out. It's like you're a feather falling, right? So you got to figure out, okay, how do I fall just like smoothly instead of how do I find that smooth, swaying fall, right? That's what it kind of felt like. Like, I'm not spinning in a whirlwind, and I don't want to be, but I could be. As this was occurring, I'm like, damn, this is actually really good to take a break to allow that manifestation to come. So once it all came to fruition, I took another maybe 2-3 weeks off, and I was like, fuck, I got to get back on my shit because there's more stuff that we've got to do. There's more work to be done. So keep that in mind, that even though it does get crazy, taking a break, if you feel that inside of you, take the break, allow the things to come into fruition, allow the people in your life, you know, to share with you who you're becoming, because they tell you, you are told we only meet ourselves. I'm you, I'm a version of you, you're a version of me. That's just what it is. I don't give a fuck what you believe. Like, that's the case. Everyone in your life is going to start to share with you the changes you're making. They're going to say, wow, like, you're being a little like, oh, wow, you're so nice, or like, not even nice. Like, how does it be said, like condescending type of ways, but take it as a compliment is what I'm saying. Number one. Second thing is, always remember that your personality creates your personal reality. If you're going to create something, create a reality that you want, a reality that's fruitful for you. If you're going to be imagining something, imagine things going right for you. Imagine that everything in the world happens to your benefit. It sounds stupid. It sounds conceited. It sounds strange. Just, you can do it or not, but I'm letting you know right now, I'm sitting and living proof of this shit. Really. Really, really. Well, this one ran a little longer than expected, but that's always for a good reason, right? I trust that you grabbed something from this podcast that you can take with you into your beautiful life and apply it immediately and get immediate results. Immediate results. You know what I'm saying? Right now. If you don't believe that can happen, that's your problem. All right, family. I'll see you soon. Catch me on a beach somewhere, baby. Mwah. Mind is matter. This is Direct Sunlight. And my name is Makaisha Kisi. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining.